The vast emptiness of space suddenly lit up as a sleek, silver spaceship emerged from a swirling blue portal. Its hull gleamed under the light of unfamiliar stars. Inside the ship, Captain Sarah Chen took a deep breath and looked at her crew. Their faces showed a mix of excitement and nervousness. "We did it," she said softly. "We're the first humans to leave our solar system." It had been 3,000 years since humanity first dreamed of reaching the stars. Now, after centuries of hard work and countless setbacks, they had finally achieved faster-than-light travel. The ship, named Hope's Journey, carried the dreams and aspirations of billions of humans back on Earth. As the crew began to check their systems and gather data about their surroundings, an alarm suddenly blared through the ship. "Captain, we're detecting multiple objects approaching fast," shouted the sensor officer. Sarah's heart raced. This was it, the moment they had all prepared for, but hoped wouldn't happen. First contact with an alien species. 5 large ships, each easily 10 times the size of Hope's Journey, surrounded the human vessel. Their designs were unlike anything the crew had ever seen, with smooth organic shapes that seemed to flow and shift. A voice crackled over the ship's speakers, speaking in a language no one understood. After a few moments, it switched to perfect English. "Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted Galactic Empire space. Identify yourself immediately." Sarah took a deep breath and stepped forward. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth ship Hope's Journey. We come in peace and seek friendship with your people." There was a long pause. The crew waited anxiously, wondering if they had made a terrible mistake. Finally, the alien voice spoke again, this time with a hint of surprise. "Earth. Humans? Impossible. Your species is still primitive, confined to a single planet." Sarah couldn't help but smile. "Not anymore," she replied. "We've come a long way in the last few thousand years." The alien ships moved closer, their sensors scanning every inch of Hope's Journey. Inside one of the massive vessels, Admiral Zixtal of the Galactic Empire stared at the readings in disbelief. "This can't be right," he muttered to his second-in-command. "Their technology. It's unlike anything we've seen before. How did they achieve this level of advancement so quickly?" The Empire had ruled the galaxy for over 10,000 years. They had encountered countless species, but none had ever surprised them like this. Humans were supposed to be a footnote in their vast database, a young species not worth paying attention to for at least another millennium. Yet here they were, crossing the stars in a ship that defied the Empire's understanding of physics. Back on Hope's Journey, Sarah and her crew waited nervously. They knew this moment would shape the future of humanity. Everything depended on making a good first impression. Suddenly, a new voice came over the speakers. It was deeper, more authoritative. "Earth vessel, this is Grand Admiral Vexorn of the Galactic Empire. Your presence here is unexpected. We request permission to send a delegation to your ship for further discussion." Sarah looked at her crew. They nodded, ready for whatever came next. "We would be honored, Grand Admiral," she replied. As the crew prepared for the arrival of their alien visitors, excitement buzzed through the ship. They were about to meet beings from another world, to learn about a vast galactic civilization they never knew existed. But there was also worry. How would the Empire react to humanity's sudden appearance on the galactic stage? Would they be welcomed as equals or seen as a threat? As a sleek shuttle departed from one of the alien ships and headed towards Hope's Journey, Sarah knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. Everything they had worked for, every sacrifice made to reach the stars, had led to this moment. The human crew stood tall and proud as the airlock cycled open. They were ready to face whatever the galaxy had in store for them. As the first alien stepped onto their ship, a new chapter in human history began, one that would change the course of the galaxy forever. The airlock hissed open, and 3 alien figures stepped onto the deck of Hope's Journey. Captain Sarah Chen and her crew stared in amazement. The aliens were tall and slender, with iridescent skin that shimmered like oil on water. Their large, almond-shaped eyes blinked slowly as they took in their surroundings. The lead alien, dressed in an elaborate uniform, spoke first. "I am Commander Zalthrix of the Galactic Empire. We did not expect to find your kind here." Sarah stepped forward, offering a polite bow. "We're honored to meet you, Commander. Welcome aboard our ship." As the aliens moved further into the vessel, their eyes darted everywhere, taking in every detail. The human crew couldn't help but notice the looks of surprise and confusion on their visitors' faces. "Your technology," Zalthrix said, running a long-fingered hand along a nearby console. "It's unusual, unlike anything we've seen before." Sarah nodded, pride evident in her voice. "We've come a long way in a short time. Our engineers and scientists have made some remarkable breakthroughs." The aliens exchanged glances, a silent conversation passing between them. Finally, Zalthrix turned back to Sarah. "We would like to examine your propulsion systems, if you don't mind. Our scans detected some interesting readings." Sarah hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Of course, Chief Engineer Rodriguez can show you our engine room." As they made their way through the ship, the aliens' amazement only grew. They marveled at the compact fusion reactor, the gravity plating that allowed the crew to walk normally in space, and the advanced life support systems that recycled air and water with near-perfect efficiency. But it was the faster-than-light drive that truly shocked them. As Rodriguez explained the principles behind it, the aliens' expressions changed from curiosity to disbelief. "This shouldn't be possible," one of the alien scientists muttered. "The energy requirements alone." Rodriguez grinned. "That's where our quantum foam manipulation comes in. We can tap into the energy of the vacuum itself." The aliens fell silent, staring at the human engineer as if he had just performed magic. Meanwhile, in the ship's conference room, Sarah was engaged in a tense discussion with Zalthrix. "You must understand our concern," the alien commander said. "Your species was barely exploring your own planet when we last checked. Now, suddenly, you appear with technology that rivals or even surpasses our own in some areas. It's unsettling." Sarah leaned forward. "We mean no threat to your empire, Commander. We're explorers, seeking knowledge and friendship." Zalthrix's large eyes narrowed. "Perhaps, but not everyone in the Empire will see it that way. Some will view your rapid advancement as a potential danger." As they talked, news of the human ship's arrival was spreading like wildfire through the Empire's vast communication networks. In distant star systems, alien leaders and scientists debated the implications of this unexpected development. On the Imperial capital world, a hastily convened council of high-ranking officials argued fiercely about how to handle the situation. "We should destroy them now, before they become a real threat," one admiral shouted. "Fool," countered another. "Their technology could revolutionize our own. We should learn from them, not fear them." The Emperor, a being of ancient wisdom, listened silently to the debate. Finally, he raised a hand for silence. "We will watch and wait," he declared. "These humans have surprised us once. Let us see what other surprises they might hold." Back on Hope's journey, Sarah and her crew were unaware of the storm they had stirred up across the galaxy. As the alien inspection team prepared to leave, Zalthrix turned to the human captain one last time. "You and your ship will need to come with us to Imperial Center," he said. "Our leaders have many questions for you." Sarah nodded, knowing this was just the beginning of a long and potentially dangerous journey. As she watched the alien shuttle depart, she couldn't help but wonder what challenges lay ahead for humanity in this vast, unknown galaxy. The crew of Hope's journey had dreamed of making history. Now they realized they had done far more than that. They had changed the course of galactic history itself, and the true impact of their arrival was only just beginning to unfold. As Hope's journey followed the Imperial fleet towards the heart of the Galactic Empire, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the challenges ahead. They knew they would need to showcase humanity's best qualities to secure their place among the stars. The journey took several days, even at faster-than-light speeds. During this time, Sarah encouraged her engineers and scientists to continue their work, pushing the boundaries of their technology even further. She had a hunch that impressing the Empire with human ingenuity might be their best defense. On the third day of their journey, Chief Engineer Rodriguez burst into the captain's quarters, his eyes wide with excitement. "Captain, we've done it. We've made a breakthrough." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "What kind of breakthrough, Rodriguez?" The engineer could barely contain himself. "We've managed to improve our FTL drive efficiency by 30%. And that's not all. We've also developed a new type of sensor array that can detect spatial anomalies from twice the distance of our previous system." Sarah smiled, pride swelling in her chest. This was exactly the kind of innovation they needed to show the Empire that humans were more than just upstarts. As they approached Imperial Center, the crew of Hope's Journey gasped in awe. The planet was a glittering jewel, surrounded by massive space stations and shipyards. Thousands of ships of all sizes darted between the structures, a testament to the Empire's power and reach. A stern voice crackled over the comms. "Earth vessel, you will dock at Station Alpha 9. Prepare to be boarded for inspection." As they maneuvered towards the designated station, Sarah gathered her crew. "Remember," she said, "we're not just representing ourselves here. We're representing all of humanity. Let's show them what we're capable of." The moment the airlock opened, a team of Imperial officials swarmed onto Hope's Journey. They were led by a tall, imposing alien with deep blue skin and 4 arms. "I am Grand Inspector Krasnul," he announced. "We will examine every inch of your vessel." For hours, the Imperial team combed through the ship, scanning and prodding every system. Sarah and her crew answered countless questions, explaining their technology and demonstrating its capabilities. At first, the Imperial officials were skeptical, even dismissive. But as the inspection went on, their attitudes began to change. Looks of disbelief turned to grudging respect, and in some cases, outright amazement. Krasnul seemed particularly interested in the ship's newly improved FTL drive. "This efficiency, it's remarkable," he muttered, almost to himself. "And you achieved this in just a few days." Rodriguez nodded proudly. "Continuous improvement is kind of our thing," he said with a grin. As the inspection neared its end, Sarah decided to take a risk. "Grand Inspector," she said, "if you're willing, we'd like to demonstrate another of our recent innovations." Krasnul looked intrigued. "Go on." Sarah nodded to her science officer, who activated the new sensor array. Suddenly, a holographic display sprang to life in the middle of the engine room, showing a detailed map of the surrounding space. "As you can see," Sarah explained, "our new sensors can detect and map spatial anomalies with unprecedented accuracy. We believe this technology could be invaluable for safe navigation and exploration." The Imperial officials huddled together, speaking in hushed tones. Finally, Krasnul turned back to Sarah. "Captain Chen, your ship and your technology are impressive, far more so than we anticipated. The Empire's leadership will need to be informed of these developments immediately." As the inspection team prepared to leave, Krasnul paused at the airlock. "You and your senior staff are summoned to appear before the Imperial Council tomorrow. Be prepared to demonstrate your capabilities and to explain how your species advanced so quickly." After the Imperial team left, a tense silence fell over Hope's Journey. The crew knew that tomorrow's meeting could determine the fate of not just their mission, but of humanity's place in the galaxy. Sarah looked at her team, seeing a mix of nervousness and determination on their faces. "Get some rest," she said. "Tomorrow, we show the Empire what humanity is truly capable of." As the crew dispersed, Sarah stayed behind in the engine room, staring at the holographic display of space around them. She couldn't help but feel that they were standing on the brink of a new era, one where humanity would either find its place among the stars or be deemed too dangerous to exist. Either way, the next day would change the course of human history forever. The next morning, Captain Sarah Chen and her senior staff stood before the massive doors of the Imperial Council chamber. The air was thick with tension as they waited to be called in. "Remember," Sarah whispered to her team, "we're not just scientists or explorers today. We're diplomats representing all of humanity." The doors swung open silently, revealing a vast circular room. Hundreds of alien beings from various species sat in tiered seats, all eyes fixed on the human delegation. At the center, on an elevated platform, sat the Emperor himself, a being of shimmering energy barely contained within a humanoid form. As Sarah and her team took their places in the center of the chamber, the Emperor's voice echoed through their minds. "Humans of Earth," he said, his tone a mix of curiosity and caution, "you stand before us as an anomaly. Explain your rapid advancement." Sarah took a deep breath and began to speak. She told the story of human perseverance, of how centuries of war and struggle had forged a species determined to reach the stars. She spoke of great scientists and visionary leaders who had pushed humanity forward. As she talked, holographic images appeared around the chamber, showing key moments in human history. The first moon landing, the Mars colonies, the development of fusion power. The alien counselors murmured among themselves, clearly impressed by humanity's progress. But not everyone was convinced. A tall, reptilian alien stood up, his scales gleaming in the chamber's light. "This is all very impressive," he hissed, "but it doesn't explain how you achieved faster than light travel so quickly. We demand to know your secrets." Sarah exchanged glances with her chief engineer, Rodriguez. They had anticipated this question and prepared for it. Rodriguez stepped forward, activating a small device he held. A complex hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, showing the intricate workings of Hope's Journey's FTL drive. "Our breakthrough," Rodriguez explained, "came from thinking differently about space-time itself." He went on to describe how human scientists had discovered a way to manipulate the quantum foam of space, creating stable wormholes for near-instantaneous travel. As he spoke, the hologram shifted and changed, illustrating the complex principles behind the drive. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some counselors were shouting in disbelief, others in excitement. The Emperor raised a glowing hand, and silence fell. This technology, the Emperor's voice resonated in their minds, if true, could revolutionize travel throughout the galaxy. But it also poses a potential threat to the stability of the Empire. Sarah stepped forward again. "Your Imperial Majesty," she said, her voice firm but respectful, "we understand your concerns. That's why we're proposing a partnership." The chamber grew quiet, all eyes on the human captain. "Humanity doesn't seek to disrupt the Empire," Sarah continued. "We want to learn from you, to contribute our ideas and innovations. In return, we ask for a place among the stars, not as subjects, but as allies." The reptilian counselor who had spoken earlier scoffed. "Allies? You're barely out of your solar system. What could you possibly offer the Empire?" Sarah smiled. "How about a demonstration?" She nodded to her science officer, who activated another device. Suddenly, the air in the chamber shimmered, and a field of energy enveloped the human delegation. Gasps of surprise echoed through the room. "This," Sarah explained, "is a portable force field generator. It can protect against energy weapons, extreme temperatures, and even some forms of radiation. And it's just one of many technologies we're willing to share." The Emperor leaned forward, his energy form pulsing with interest. "Impressive," his voice echoed. "But tell me, Captain Chen, why should we trust you? How do we know humanity won't become a threat to the Empire in the future?" Sarah's expression grew serious. "Your Majesty, humanity has learned hard lessons about the dangers of unchecked power and aggression. Our history is filled with wars and conflicts that nearly destroyed us. But we've also learned the value of cooperation, of working together to achieve greatness." She gestured to her diverse crew. "Look at us. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds, but we work as one. We believe we can bring that same spirit of cooperation to the galaxy." The Emperor was silent for a long moment, his energy form flickering as he considered her words. Finally, he spoke. "You have given us much to think about, humans of Earth. The Council will deliberate on your proposal. Until then, you will remain here as our guests." As Sarah and her crew were led out of the chamber, they could hear the heated discussions already beginning behind them. They had made their case. Now, the fate of humanity's place in the galaxy rested in alien hands. As days turned into weeks, the crew of Hope's Journey found themselves in a peculiar limbo. They were neither prisoners nor honored guests, but something in between. The Imperial authorities had provided them with comfortable quarters on a space station orbiting the capital planet, but their movements were restricted, and they were constantly under surveillance. Captain Sarah Chen paced in her temporary quarters, frustration evident on her face. "We can't just sit here waiting," she muttered to her senior staff. "We need to do something to prove our worth to the Empire." Chief Engineer Rodriguez scratched his chin thoughtfully. "You know, Captain, I've been thinking. Remember that old Earth saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Well, we're in a pretty necessary situation right now." Sarah's eyes lit up. "What do you have in mind, Rodriguez?" The engineer grinned. "I've been studying the station's systems. Their power grid is impressive, but inefficient. I think we could improve it significantly with some of our technology." "That's brilliant," Sarah exclaimed. "But how do we get permission to work on their systems?" As if on cue, there was a chime at the door. A tall, willowy alien entered. "Caxlor, their Imperial liaison." "Captain Chen," he said, his voice a melodious trill. "I bring news. The Emperor has decreed that your crew may have access to certain non-critical areas of the station. He wishes to observe how you interact with our technology." Sarah and Rodriguez exchanged excited glances. This was exactly the opportunity they needed. Over the next few days, the human crew threw themselves into their work. Rodriguez and his team tackled the power grid, implementing human-designed improvements that increased efficiency by 25%. The science team, led by Dr. Amelia Wong, worked on enhancing the station's environmental systems, introducing Earth-based bioengineering techniques that improved air quality and reduced waste. Word of the humans' innovations spread quickly through the station. Alien engineers and scientists, initially skeptical, began to seek out the Earth crew, eager to learn and collaborate. Sarah encouraged this interaction, knowing that building relationships could be as important as showcasing technology. One day, as Sarah was overseeing the joint human-alien project to upgrade the station's communication array, an alarm blared through the corridors. Red lights flashed, and alien voices chattered urgently over the intercom. Caxlor rushed into the room, his usually calm demeanor shaken. "Captain Chen, we have an emergency. A ship carrying volatile fuel cells has suffered a critical malfunction. It's on a collision course with the station, and our tractor beams can't get a lock on it." Without hesitation, Sarah sprang into action. "Rodriguez, get to the control room. Dr. Wong, I need you to analyze the fuel cells. Everyone else with me." The human crew raced through the station, alien personnel stepping aside in surprise. In the control room, Rodriguez quickly assessed the situation. "The ship's automatic systems are offline," he reported. "And those fuel cells, if they hit us, half the station could be vaporized." Sarah's mind raced. Then, an idea struck her. "The force field generator. Rodriguez, can we modify it to create a large-scale field around the incoming ship?" The engineer's eyes widened. "It's never been tested at that scale, but yes, I think we can." For the next tense minutes, human and alien crew members worked side by side, modifying the force field technology and integrating it with the station's systems. As the rogue ship loomed ever closer on the view screens, Sarah gave the order. "Activate the field." A shimmering bubble of energy burst from the station, enveloping the incoming vessel. Its momentum slowed, then stopped entirely, held in place by the human-designed force field. A cheer went up from both human and alien crew members. They had averted disaster through quick thinking and cooperation. As the danger passed and recovery operations began, Sarah noticed a change in the aliens around her. The looks of suspicion were gone, replaced by respect and gratitude. Caxlor approached her, bowing slightly. "Captain Chen, your actions today have saved many lives. The Emperor himself has requested your presence. I believe things are about to change for you and your crew." As Sarah prepared to once again face the Imperial Council, she couldn't help but smile. They had come to the stars seeking friendship and cooperation. Now it seemed they might have finally found it. The Imperial Council chamber buzzed with an energy unlike anything Sarah had experienced before. As she and her senior staff entered, they were met not with suspicious stares, but with nods of acknowledgement and even a few smiles from the alien counselors. The Emperor's energy form pulsed brightly as he addressed the chamber. "Humans of Earth," his voice resonated in their minds, "you have proven yourselves to be not just innovative, but also courageous and quick-thinking in the face of danger. Your actions have saved many lives and demonstrated the potential benefits of your presence in our empire." Sarah stepped forward, her head held high. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We're honored to have been able to help. This is exactly the kind of cooperation we hoped for when we set out among the stars." A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Emperor continued, "In light of recent events, this council has reached a decision regarding humanity's place in the galaxy." The room fell silent, everyone holding their breath in anticipation. "We hereby grant humanity probationary membership in the Galactic Empire," the Emperor declared. "You will be allowed to establish colonies on uninhabited worlds within designated sectors, and to engage in trade and cultural exchange with other member species." Cheers erupted from the human delegation, quickly stifled as they remembered where they were. Sarah's heart raced with excitement, but she knew there had to be more. "However," the Emperor added, his tone growing serious, "your technological advancements must be shared with and approved by the Imperial Science Council before implementation. We cannot risk destabilizing the delicate balance of power in the galaxy." Sarah nodded solemnly. "We understand and accept these terms, Your Majesty. Humanity is eager to contribute to the greater good of the Empire." As the formal proceedings concluded, Sarah and her crew found themselves surrounded by curious alien counselors and scientists, all eager to discuss potential collaborations and exchanges of knowledge. Amidst the excited chatter, a gruff voice cut through. "Don't think this means we trust you completely, humans." It was Admiral Zexcon, the reptilian alien who had been skeptical of them from the beginning. "One wrong move, and you'll find yourselves back in your own solar system faster than you can blink." Sarah met his gaze steadily. "We understand your concerns, Admiral. But I hope that in time, we can earn your trust through our actions and contributions to the Empire." Before Zexcon could respond, another voice joined the conversation. "I, for one, am excited about the possibilities." A tall, elegant alien with shimmering, plant-like appendages approached. "I am Chief Scientist Loravine. Your force field technology alone could revolutionize our defensive capabilities. I look forward to working closely with your scientists." As Sarah engaged in conversation with Loravine, she couldn't help but notice groups of humans and aliens already forming around the chamber, excitedly discussing ideas and potential projects. It was exactly the kind of interspecies cooperation she had dreamed of. Hours later, as the human crew prepared to return to their ship, Sarah gathered them for a brief meeting. "We've achieved something incredible today," she said, her voice filled with pride. "But this is just the beginning. We have a lot of work ahead of us to prove that humanity deserves its place among the stars." Rodriguez grinned. "Well, Cap, I've already got some ideas for improving their starship engines. Give me a few weeks, and we'll have the whole Empire flying human style." Dr. Wong chimed in. "And I've been talking with some xenobiologists about combining our medical knowledge. The potential for new treatments and cures is staggering." As her crew continued to excitedly share their plans and ideas, Sarah felt a wave of emotion wash over her. They had come so far, faced so many challenges, and now stood on the brink of a new era for humanity. "All right, team," she said, bringing their attention back to her. "Let's get back to Hope's journey. We've got a message to send to Earth. It's time to let them know that the galaxy is open to us, and that humanity's greatest adventure is just beginning." As they made their way through the station, Sarah couldn't help but notice the changed attitudes of the aliens around them. Where once there had been suspicion and fear, now there was curiosity and respect. It wasn't perfect, and there would undoubtedly be challenges ahead, but it was a start. A start to humanity's bold new chapter among the stars. 5 years had passed since humanity's dramatic entry into the Galactic Empire, and the changes were nothing short of remarkable. The small human colony on Nova Terra, a lush world in the Orion Arm, had grown into a thriving metropolis where humans and aliens worked side by side. Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood on the observation deck of the massive space station orbiting Nova Terra. She smiled as she watched ships of various designs, some human, some alien, and many a mixture of both, coming and going from the planet below. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" a familiar voice said behind her. Sarah turned to see Rodriguez, now Chief of Imperial Engineering, joining her at the window. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come," Sarah replied, her voice filled with wonder. Their conversation was interrupted by a young ensign rushing onto the deck. "Admiral Chen, Chief Rodriguez, you're needed in the command center immediately. We've received an urgent message from Earth." Exchanging worried glances, Sarah and Rodriguez hurried to the command center. The room was a buzzing hive of activity, with humans and aliens working together at various stations. At the center, a large holographic display showed a familiar face, the President of the United Earth Government. "Admiral Chen," the President's voice was tense, "we've detected a massive object approaching our solar system at incredible speed. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. We need the Empire's help." Sarah's mind raced. This was exactly the kind of situation they had feared, a threat to Earth that was beyond their capabilities to handle alone. But now, they weren't alone anymore. "Understood, Madam President," Sarah replied calmly. "We'll contact Imperial High Command immediately. Help is on the way." As soon as the transmission ended, Sarah turned to her mixed human-alien crew. "All right, people, this is what we've prepared for. Let's show the galaxy what humanity and the Empire can do together." The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Sarah coordinated with Imperial fleets, dispatching the most advanced ships, many of them incorporating human innovations, towards Earth. Scientists from a dozen species pored over the data from Earth's sensors, trying to identify the mysterious object. It was Dr. Wong, working with a team of alien xenobiologists, who made the breakthrough. "It's not a ship or a weapon," she announced, her eyes wide with excitement. "It's alive. Some kind of space-dwelling life form, bigger than anything we've ever encountered." This revelation changed everything. What had seemed like a potential threat now became an unprecedented opportunity for scientific discovery. As the Imperial fleet approached Earth, with Hope's journey at its head, Sarah made a bold decision. Instead of preparing for battle, she ordered the ships to form a welcoming party. Using a combination of human intuition and alien technology, they broadcast messages of peace and friendship towards the approaching entity. The massive creature, which the crew had started calling Stellar Leviathan, slowed its approach. To everyone's amazement, it began to respond, sending back complex patterns of light and energy that the ship's advanced sensors could interpret. "It's curious about us," one of the alien scientists explained, his tentacles waving with excitement. "It's never encountered intelligent life before. We may be the first to ever communicate with such a being." For the next several days, ships from across the Empire arrived in Earth's solar system, not to fight, but to study and communicate with the Stellar Leviathan. It was a galactic event unlike any other, with scientists, diplomats, and curious onlookers from hundreds of species gathering to witness the historic moment. As Sarah watched the Leviathan gracefully glide between Earth and Mars, its massive form shimmering with otherworldly beauty, she felt a surge of pride. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had also played a crucial role in one of the greatest discoveries in galactic history. "You know," Rodriguez said, joining her on Hope's Journey's bridge, "when we first left Earth, I never imagined anything like this." Sarah nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "That's the beauty of exploration, old friend. The universe is full of wonders beyond our imagination, and now we get to discover them together, not just as humans, but as part of something greater." As the stellar Leviathan sang its ethereal song to the assembled fleet, Sarah couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. Humanity's journey among the stars had opened up possibilities she had never dreamed of. And with their new allies in the Empire, and their unique human perspective, there was no limit to what they might achieve. The galaxy, it seemed, was full of surprises, and humanity was ready for them all.